Today on the podcast, from two corners of the globe, an insider's look at outsourcing in the Philippines, everything from salary levels to the definitive website to hire your own outsourced professionals in the Philippines. Also, a life-changing business opportunity for an aspiring location-independent professional. Let's get moving. I'm Dan Andrews, and thank you for downloading the Lifestyle Business Podcast, the #1 show on iTunes for lifestyle designers and lifestyle entrepreneurs. Yes, yes, people. We are back in business, and it wasn't a big technical mountain to climb to pull off this intercontinental recording, but when you couple that with being insanely busy, I think you get a 4-week delay in episodes.
Here we
What's
are.
going on with you over there? What's going on with you in San Diego? Give me the Ian news update.
Well, everybody should know that Dan's in the Philippines and I'm in San Diego.
That's my news update. What am I going to say?
A couple of things have happened. A couple of months have gone by since the last time we talked. And so business is clipping along. And a lot of our growth here coming up pretty soon is contingent on what's going on in the Philippines. So
Right.
Let's hear what's going on in the Philippines right now.
Okay. Well, it's a big discussion about the Philippines, but I did want to share in this episode just some quick overview information about the kind of the reason you might want to get involved in the Philippines, the kinds of costs that are involved, and some of the tools that you can use if you think it could be valuable for your business. So those are the kinds of things I brought to the table today to talk about. So just a little update from me. I've been in the Philippines now, I don't even know how long. I didn't even look at a calendar, but probably a month and a half. And just been having a blast. I've been all around. I've been to 4 or 5 different cities, met a lot of interesting people. Now I'm living in a furnished apartment, Western standard, beautiful furnished apartment for $400 a month, which is very pricey in the Philippines, but obviously relative to Western standards, it's a steal. The place is fully outfitted with Wi-Fi, and my business associate and myself, we have just a great working atmosphere here with desks and just air conditioning and Wi-Fi and everything. So every once in a while, I think when you're doing this mobile business thing, there's kind of like always expansion and contraction periods where you're moving around to try to find new opportunities, but you're not getting quite as much work done. And then when you can finally set up shop in an office, you can get a lot more done. Obviously, it really buttresses the importance of having a strong outsource team. So if you do have strong outsourcers working for you, then even when you are traveling, you can always find that hour a day to make sure that they're on track with their tasks.
True.
I wanted to say tell the audience a little bit as to why we're here in the Philippines. I actually got inspired by 2 sources. One is Internet Business Mastery podcast. They did an interview with a guy named John Jonas. And what struck me about this interview with John is how adamant he was about the superiority of the Philippines. Like, I had always been aware of the fact that people were outsourcing in the Philippines, but I never really sat down and thought, like, whether this is really better than India, China, Vietnam, or all the other locations, even, outsourcing in North America, Brazil, South America. So he made some really blistering points about, essentially his point is combination between education, low salary, Americanized mindset, and 100% English integration. They're an English-speaking country. More so than almost any other language, because there are 2 main languages here, 2 local languages that actually split the population in half. So English is the tie that binds this country. It's just an amazing kind of assembly of facts. And when you look at the BPO industry, like the call center industry, the Philippines, as their infrastructure improves, is winning more and more business away from countries like India. Essentially what you got here in the Philippines is you've got, very well educated English-speaking staff that a high-level, entry-level job at a call center will get them about $250 a month. And getting a job at a call center in the Philippines is equivalent to sort of being an engineer in the West. It's highly respected, you have to be well educated, and it is the highest paying jobs out there. It's just to give you an idea of sort of where you're starting out at. $250 is an excellent salary. Of course, the Filipinos who have understood how to leverage the power of sites like Craigslist, for example, they're asking much higher monthly rates. You can get quotes anywhere from $600 to $1,200 a month for a web programmer, for example. But of course, you can achieve much better rates if you're here in country. So I decided to combine my passion for travel and the opportunity we see here in the Philippines to sort of outpace our competition on the web, to outinvest them in terms of time spent on each website, each marketing task, and to sort of get a jump on that by just coming here directly and meeting with people.
Yeah, and if you take what you're talking about in terms of a web development guy for $600 to $1,200 a month, that's about equivalent to $3,000 to $4,000 a month here in the United States for what we're doing.
Yeah, and it could even be more, given that we're doing more. We're not doing just theming and basic graphic, web deployment kind of stuff. We're not just putting a theme over top of WordPress. We run some pretty sophisticated e-commerce sites, and realistically, to hire somebody good in the States, you're looking at least $60,000 a year. For example, I hired yesterday. I'm very happy to announce I hired just a fantastic guy, is very well experienced in large-scale media-type outlet sites, which are very sophisticated. I hired him as a team leader for $1,000 a month. So this guy is, speaking perfect English, has a great educational background, really good guy. I can communicate with him 100%, and that's such an incredible advantage. And here he is, working, delighted to be making $1,000 a month. And and that brings him a lot of buying power here in the Philippines. It's not like it's by no means some kind of slave labor wage or something. This is a really fantastic salary to be living on in the Philippines. So
yeah, definitely, that's great news.
I wanted to kind of just share a few of my insights. I know this is a Dan-heavy episode, but if you would indulge me, I just wanted to let the audience know sort of a couple tools that they could get started on looking into this kind of thing from back home. So here are the 3 best websites that I know about that you can look into if you are interested in outsourcing in the Philippines. So number 1 is odesk.com. Now, Odesk is very similar to Elance, except that it has a 100% integrated project management interface. So what happens is it's actually like a project tracking tool combined with like a bid tool. So you could go on to odesk.com and get an account and say, I would like somebody to write me articles next week, or for the next 6 months, I want 3 articles a week on these topics. And you then open up that project to thousands of bidders. And everybody, they write you and they have a full resume with experience and reviews from other projects they've done on Odesk. And so you can choose or interview them via Skype based on a bunch of information about their work history.
Now, are all these people from Odesk in the Philippines? Is it a Filipino website?
No, it's not. It's a worldwide phenomenon. But you can mention, for example, in my job ads, I say I want a Filipino candidate because I want to meet you if things work out. And
which is a huge advantage, right, of being in the Philippines. Because
absolutely.
when we first started hiring people in the Philippines, we weren't there, and we had a lot less success with retention rate and also finding qualified people that are willing to work as hard as we want them to.
Yeah, and if you want to make that investment in people where you teach them about your business so you can really outsource more than just tasks, but outsource that proactive approach to your business, someone who can help you grow, someone who you can build a relationship with. And that's about real relationships. Those are lasting things that I hope that this gentleman that we hired, for example, yesterday will work with us in 5 years from now.
Yeah, it's interesting because guys like that 6 months from now feel the burden of your business like a local employee would, for lack of a better terms, local employee. And
or burden, just to say, like, it doesn't necessarily need to be burden, but they identify with your business.
Sure, and they take on a certain level of responsibility for it. Sometimes even more so if you're around and working with them.
Sure. I think so, and it's just difficult to develop those strong relationships over Skype and over tasks. I also want to show them what's possible. I believe in business, that business has the power to change people's lives, and I want to offer that opportunity, and I want to offer it in person. I want to get to know these people. It's exciting for me to do that. Anyway, so Odesk, though, is a way to get started, to start developing these relationships via the things that you need to get done. And the Odesk is popular with Filipinos. They understand it. They're talking with their friends. There's a buzz about it. They're actively trying to get business via this platform. So just real quick, the way a project will go down on this website is when you do decide to hire somebody on Odesk, you give them the task, and whenever they work on your project, they log into Odesk, and the Odesk software tracks their time and takes periodic screenshots of their workstation. You're getting paid by the hour,
which is very important. If you've ever not tracked what your guys are doing overseas.
Yeah, and especially like for basic kind of stuff, it just can sometimes be too much of a burden to track them all the time and to be so results focused. So you can still do that in combination with this software. Just gives you some extra information about how long is it really taking them to write these articles. Can I look back at the screenshot archive to get an idea of how fast their progress is? It's just more information you can use to get more done in your business. So just to give you one example of a person I'm working with, an article writer, someone who's creating both on-site and off-site content, helpful articles for our market. Just really taking the time to get to understand our products. She's doing an excellent job of proactive research, and I just couldn't be happier with her work. And her hourly rate is $3.40 an hour. And that actually, if she were to work 160 hours a month, that's a really good salary. I mean, that's bigger than a call center salary for her. She's very happy to have this as something that she can come home from her job, log into her computer for a couple hours after dinner, and make an extra $10, $15 a day. Certainly it's benefiting our business. And I can't stress again how excellent her English is. I mean, my business associate and I are just sort of marveling at the work that comes from the Filipinos, especially when it's about English.
It would probably make most university communication majors blush.
I was actually thinking that, like, this is better than outsourcing to some of my friends, So, I mean, and also to give the Filipinos credit, these people are professionals. They know what they're doing, and they're making a good living because of their skills. And so I think that it's working out for everybody. Odesk is a way that you can get your feet wet, and you can get a bunch of tasks going. And the other thing is that it automatically debits your account, which I think is a really nice feature for the outsourced professionals as well. So every Friday, for example, I get an invoice. And it's up to me to be proactive about making sure that I'm happy with that work. Odesk gives me ample opportunities to make that confirmation. But as long as I don't say no, my funds are getting pulled every Friday. And I think that's good for the professionals who are, putting their time on the line for your business. The second two websites are places that you can go to hire people. And one thing that isn't really, sometimes you have to be on the ground to kind of get the definitive information about a place. And I do have the definitive job website for the Philippines. It's jobstreet.com. If you are a college-educated Filipino and you want a job, it is the place that you'll go. It is the equivalent of, it has the popularity of Craigslist, but it's actually more like a monster.com. Because it's targeted towards corporate clients. The reality is in the Philippines is that there's not a lot of small businesses hiring here relative to corporate businesses. Obviously the call center industry is huge here, and those are clients like IBM and Network Solutions and McDonald's and Visa Card and these kinds of employers. So JobStreet definitely caters to that crowd, and because of that, it's very expensive. It's actually $85 a month for an account or something like that. And you actually can't sign up online. You have to talk with a sales rep. It's a lot of money. I haven't used it, but I've talked to a lot of people who have, and it is definitely, if you want the best and brightest talent, it's on jobstreet.com. So if you have a plan to be hiring up to scale your business fast, I would recommend that. The final one also has some problems with it. It's called bestjobs.ph. It's an excellent job website, actually suggested by John Jonas as well. And it's difficult to get an account. You need to log in with a Filipino proxy account and a Filipino business address. Or you need to get someone that works for you on Odesk to sign up for an account with basically using a fake but legitimate sounding business name. I'm just going to be amoral about this kind of thing and just say that it's a great jobs website. You can really get good employees off there. The people that run the website, they don't like work from home arrangements for American companies. And for some reason or another, they feel like it sets off the balance of their community. So I just want to put that out there. If you're tenacious and you really need to build a good team, actually, that constraint, I think, even improves the quality of the candidates that are on that website because they're not getting poached left and right by American or other Westerner type of business people. So that's just an insider tip. If you can find a legitimate or a way that you feel comfortable with to get involved with that website, it's certainly a great place to find people. So those are my three, just to run over them: Odesk, jobstreet.com, and bestjobs.ph.
Which are all crucial in outsourcing talent in the Philippines.
That's it. Those is from a guy who's sitting here sweating in the tropics. I think that's the definitive information right now on the Philippines. Just to give you a basic idea of what people are earning, $250 entry level. That's like a team leader call center employee. People in call centers can make anywhere up to $1,500 a month, but those people are highly motivated, in charge of 25 to 100 people, supervisor level. Most entry, within 6 years out of college, they're making less than $400 a month.
Now, you've had some good luck poaching guys from the call centers as well, haven't you?
Yes, I've gotten one employee pulled from the call center, yeah.
So, if you're to show up in the Philippines, where do you think the best place to find talented people? Is it church? Is it university? Is it the call centers?
I think the internet is the best place. So I guess it depends a little bit on what you want to have done. For me, I'm looking for web marketers. And so the way that I'm hiring people is people that are actually building websites already. One of my techniques has been to go find great Filipino websites and write to the webmaster and say, what are you doing? A lot of people that build sites are hobbyists. They're people that build up, say, a personal website in the evening about something they're interested in. And, maybe a guy like me can write to this guy and say, hey, if you do that for my company, I'll pay you money. And this is a great prospect for people. So what I've been doing is just meeting with those people. Maybe it's putting them on a ferry and saying, come to the town I'm in, or maybe I'll go to their town. And we just sit down and have dinner and talk about what they've been up to. So it's been working out great. And it's a great way. I think that a lot of Filipinos, they don't really consider the possibility of working for a small, medium-sized American firm because there's not a lot of possibility for them to do that right now. I think that's changing. But I think that the exciting part is it can be both an exceptional opportunity for our business and for them in their career. Because obviously we're looking for long-term contributors. So it's just a huge, awesome opportunity for everybody. And so it's cool. It's like you get this idea, like business. It's like the further your business can take the information, the more valuable it can be to people. And so if we can take our jobs the whole way from California, or our tasks, our value proposition, the whole way to the Philippines, it's just so valuable for everybody. It's exciting. But I think the big thing is getting people involved that kind of have a precedent, like they're already on the path a little bit. That's important because, if you have to teach someone from square one, it could end up being too big of an investment. Unless you're doing it, on a really large scale. Of course, I'm not looking to hire 15 employees. I'm looking to hire 4. And I'd rather pay a little extra for people that are really qualified. Because, I want much more. I don't want to plug drones into sort of a task list. I really want people that can identify with our business and help it to grow.
Cool tips. Nice.
In general, just let me give you 2 sort of salary anchor points. The anchor point for a rock star copywriter, sort of blogger, maybe like CSS themer, is like $500. That's about someone that's good, someone that's proven, someone that knows what they're doing, about $500 a month. Someone, a rock star developer, someone who can create custom Drupal modules, help you build an e-commerce site, someone who has real experience doing this for like legitimate websites, not just, you can definitely tell when you dig into people's backgrounds whether they just did a bunch of things for Craigslist people or whether they actually worked for some serious clients. And for some guy who's worked for serious clients, you're looking at $1,000 a month. That's pretty much 2 salary anchors to keep in mind, and that $250 is the entry level call center employee is another thing to keep in mind. As you look at these hourly rates and you get your calculator out and you just start to figure out what's going on, should be helpful. So, Ian, what's the future of this podcast? We've been off the air here for 5 weeks. What are you thinking about the Lifestyle Business Podcast here?
Well, part of the reason why we've been off the air for so long is because you've hopped around islands for the past month and a half. And I was in Asia for some of that time, and now I'm back in California. So we've been both kind of AWOL, I think, and a lot of stuff has gone on since then. But I think now that we're both kind of a little bit more settled, it should be a little bit more regular.
One more thing I've been prepping you, and I want to prep the audience. Definitely you want to follow our mailing list. I'm working with Ian on a pretty cool project right now, which is, this whole Filipino thing is about outsourcing. But we want to be the first company ever in the world to do an in-source. And what that means is I obviously have a big passion for this island hopping mobile lifestyle. And I think that there's a lot of people that have that similar passion but aren't sure how to take the first step. What we're going to be doing with our company is offering a paid internship here in Southeast Asia. We're going to be working out the details on that within the next couple weeks, and we're going to be announcing that to all the listeners of the podcast. So if you are interested in possibly making that first step into the mobile lifestyle, or you know somebody who is, make sure you get them to put their first name and email address into that contact form, and we'll be sure to let everybody on the list know about that opportunity when it's fleshed out.
Which is going to be an awesome opportunity for the right person. And
yeah, you got to be
even
right.
More than one person.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit crazy. I mean, the plan is essentially to offer it as a coaching course, like an MBA equivalent. And I know that sounds preposterous, but it really is an MBA equivalent for somebody who knows what they want. If they know they want to be a digital marketer, they know they want to be a mobile consultant or professional, this is really targeted for that crowd. And we plan to offer a subsistence wage for the first 6 months, so something just enough to get by on local food, local beer, and youth hostels. But I think that it can be, for the right person, an exceptional career opportunity. We're going to use the power of the internet to find the few crazy people that would be so willing to take us up. And for the people who do have their eye on that kind of thing, that kind of craziness, man, it could just be just a earth-shattering opportunity, and I'm just stoked about it. I mean, I can't tell you. I'm really excited to share this with some people who are passionate about this kind of the lifestyle.
Yeah, whoever signs up and whoever ends up getting the position is going to be lucky.
Yeah, and I mean, just living with me is crazy enough.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys out there, if you don't like sleeping in, drinking beer, and working late, then this probably isn't for you. But other than that,
yeah, I mean, we have our fun and we work our tails off, and it's just a fun mix of intensity, like everything we do just kind of has that intensity to it, and it makes it a blast.
Very cool.
Man, it was awesome to hop on the podcast with you. I love the international format, and it still feels intimate and clean. Like the microphone sounds good, the Skype connection's great. I hope we can do it next week, same bat time, same bat channel, eh?
Sounds good to you then.
Okay, that's all we got for today. We'll see you next week. Before we leave, I just want to give a big shout out to Dan Breich for licensing his great music as Creative Commons.